Picture a woman standing tall in a gleaming corporate lobby, her heels sharp, fierce, echo on marble, her portfolios clutched tight. A shield of ambition. She's ready for the meeting that could change her life. But then, she waits and waits. 2 hours, ignored, invisible, like she's not even there. Now imagine that wait doesn't break her. It builds her. It rewrites the rules. This is Talia Brooks' story. Talia Brooks stood under the towering glass awning of Apex Dynamics in downtown Phoenix. Her heels, black, sleek, built for battle, clicked against the polished marble floor. Her portfolio, a fortress of notes, charts, weeks of relentless prep, her heart thumping hard, but focused, laser focused. This was it. The meeting that could launch her career to the next level. A pitch to Paul Kendrick, regional manager, for a promotion she'd earned through late nights, endless revisions, every detail nailed down tight. She'd prepped for weeks. Mock interviews with her sister, rehearsing every curveball Paul might throw, research until her eyes burned, notes so sharp she could recite them in her sleep. Talia was early, always early. Her mom's voice echoed from their old porch in Atlanta. Early is on time. Talia, on time is late. The lobby was a shrine to corporate power. Glass walls stretched to the ceiling, modern sculptures twisted like frozen flames. The air carried a faint whiff of espresso and ambition. Talia smoothed her blazer, took a deep breath, and stepped up to the receptionist's desk. "Hi," she said, voice warm, professional. "I'm Talia Brooks. I have a 10 o'clock with Paul Kendrick." The receptionist, young, glossy nails clicking on her keyboard, barely looked up. He'll be right with you. Sit over there." Talia smiled. Polite, composed. She crossed the lobby and sat by the floor-to-ceiling windows, portfolio resting on her lap, legs crossed, ready, so ready. 5 minutes passed, 10, 15. No big deal, right? Big shots like Paul Kendrick run late. Important people have calls, emergencies. Talia scrolled in her phone, skimming her notes one last time. Her stomach fluttered. But she whispered to herself, "Stay cool. You've got this." But then 30 minutes ticked by. Talia stood, smoothed her skirt, and walked back to the desk, heels clicking softly. "Excuse me," she said, her tone still warm but firmer now. "Just checking on Mr. Kendrick's availability." The receptionist flicked her eyes up, then back to her screen. "He's wrapping up a call. He'll be right with you." Talia nodded. "Okay, fine." She returned to her seat, spine straight, face calm, but inside a tiny crack formed. Not doubt, not yet. Just a feeling. Something off, like the air was heavier now, pressing against her. An hour passed, an hour. Talia's heels started to pinch. Her back ached against the stiff lobby chair, but she didn't slouch, didn't fidget. If anyone was watching, and she was starting to think no one was, they'd see a woman in control, poised, unshaken. From her seat, she watched the lobby pulse with life. 2 men in crisp suits strolled in, laughing about a golf game. The receptionist leapt up. "Good morning, gentlemen. Coffee, water." They waved her off, grinning, and breezed through the doors without a second's delay. No check-in, no waiting. Talia blinked. Maybe they had appointments. Maybe they were VIPs. She didn't want to assume, didn't want to be that woman, the one who makes a scene, who reads too much into things. But the crack inside her widened. A tightness bloomed in her chest. Not anger, not yet. A stubborn, gnawing sense that something wasn't right. She checked her phone. 10:58. Nearly 2 hours. She adjusted her blazer, fingers trembling just slightly at the seams. Her professional armor, that polished, perfect exterior, was fraying. Just at the edges, across the lobby, a security guard caught her eye. Malik, older, black, his uniform crisp but his gaze soft. He gave her a nod, small, subtle, but human. A quiet "I see you." Talia's lips curved just a fraction before she lowered her gaze. She didn't want anyone thinking she was out of place. Loitering, distracting. Every move was calculated, every breath measured. Then, a sharp sound. Heels, fast and purposeful. A woman in a tailored navy suit swept into the lobby. Marissa Delgado, CFO. Talia recognized her instantly. A titan, a trailblazer from industry panels. The receptionist practically tripped over herself. Miss Delgado, can I get you anything? Marissa waved her off with a polite smile and disappeared into the elevators. Talia's throat tightened. She sat up even straighter, willing herself to look necessary, important, like she belonged in this glittering, high-stakes world. But the clock kept ticking. 11:30, she stood again, heels clicking as she approached the desk for the third time. "Hi," she said, her voice steady, though her heart pounded. "Should I reschedule? It's been quite a while." The receptionist's eyes widened, like she'd forgotten Talia was even there. "Oh, Rick, Kendrick's finishing a call. He should be right with you." The same line, the same empty, practiced smile. Talia swallowed hard, tasting something bitter. Shame that didn't belong to her. Shame she hadn't earned. She nodded, more to herself than the receptionist, and sat back down. This time, her eyes burned, not with tears, not yet, with a slow, fierce fire that stayed trapped beneath her polished exterior. She wouldn't cry, wouldn't shift uncomfortably, wouldn't give anyone the satisfaction of seeing her squirm. But inside, something was shifting, something that wasn't going back. 2 hours. 2 whole hours. Talia Brooks sat in the Apex Dynamics lobby, her portfolio a dead weight on her lap, her heels sharp, black, unforgiving, dug into her feet like a slow punishment. The marble floor gleamed, cold and mocking. The air hummed with corporate noise footsteps, keyboards, laughter that didn't include her. But Talia, she was a ghost, unseen, unwanted, a shadow in a room full of light. Her phone glared back at her. 11:58. The numbers burned her eyes, each tick of the clock a jab to her chest. She gripped her portfolio tighter, the leather creaking under her fingers. Every chart, every statistic, every late-night sacrifice she had poured into it useless, slipping away, minute by agonizing minute. Talia shifted, her heel scraping the marble with a tiny squeak. Head snapped her way. A man in a sports jacket by the elevator shot her a look sharp, annoyed. The receptionist's eyes flicked up, her lips curling just enough to say, "You're a problem." Not curious, not kind, judging, like Talia's existence was an offense to their perfect, polished world. She froze, her breath hitched, a knot twisting in her throat. She pressed her lips tight, swallowing the heat behind her eyes. "Don't move, don't flinch. Don't let them see you crack." She uncrossed her legs, sat rigid, portfolio balanced like armor. But inside, a storm was brewing. Anger, shame, a fire she could barely contain. Her thoughts screamed, would they keep a white man waiting like this? Would Paul Kendrick let someone else rot here for 2 hours? Am I paranoid, or am I just invisible? The questions clawed at her, each one heavier, sharper, cutting deeper. They sank into her gut, cold and relentless. Talia's mind flashed to Atlanta, her mom's hands, steady, braiding her hair on their creaky porch. "You gotta be twice as good, baby girl, twice as good just to get half as far." As a kid, it sounded like a riddle. Now it was a blade, a truth that sliced through the polished lies of this lobby. She wasn't just waiting for a meeting. She was fighting to be seen, to exist. She opened her portfolio, pretending to read, but her eyes blurred. She wasn't reading. She was hiding. Hiding the shame that wasn't hers. Shame she didn't ask for. Hiding the fury, hot and jagged, threatening to spill over. Hiding the bone-deep exhaustion of being this perfect, this patient. For this long, the receptionist's laugh cut through the air. light and careless, as she chatted with a delivery guy, that new sushi spot to die for. Their voices floated, easy, like Talia's 2-hour purgatory was nothing. Like she was nothing. Talia's jaw clenched, her nails dug into her palms, grounding her, keeping the storm inside from breaking free. She watched the lobby move around her. 2 men in chinos strutted in, their voices loud, joking about a client's golf swing. The receptionist jumped up. "Gentlemen, coffee. Right this way." They grinned, waved her off, and sailed through the doors. No wait, no questions. Just respect, handed out like candy. Talia's chest tightened. Maybe they're executives. Maybe they're important. She didn't want to assume. Didn't want to be that woman, the one who cries foul, who makes a scene. But the truth was a splinter under her skin. She wasn't invisible by accident. She was invisible by design. A new sound, voices, low and clipped, from the elevators. 2 executives in suits, their words sharp. Optics are key. Chez diversity quote HRs breathing down our necks. Talia's blood ran cold. Was that it? Was she just a checkbox, a name to fill a report? To make someone feel good about progress? The thought hit like a slap, raw and stinging. Enough. Talia stood, her heels clicking louder now. Deliberate. She crossed the lobby, each step a defiance. The receptionist looked up, startled, as Talia leaned forward, her voice low, steel-wrapped. "I've been here 2 hours. 2 hours. Is Mr. Kendrick even coming, or am I wasting my time?" The receptionist blinked, her practiced smile faltering. "Ian is on a call. He'll be right with you." Talia's eyes narrowed. "You've said that 3 times. I'm not here for games. Get him now." The receptionist's face flushed, her fingers fumbling for the phone. I will check again." Talia didn't move. She stood, unwavering, her gaze locked on the woman's nervous hands. The lobby seemed to shrink, the air thick with tension. A few heads turned, their glances no longer annoyed, curious now. Uneasy. Talia felt the weight of their stares but didn't budge. She wasn't invisible anymore. Not in this moment. The receptionist whispered into the phone, her voice tight. "Mr. Kendrick, it's about Ms. Brooks. She's been waiting." A pause, a mumble. She hung up. Avoiding Talia's eyes, "He's coming, soon." Talia nodded, slow and deliberate. "Good." She turned, heels clicking back to her seat, but the fire in her chest burned brighter. She'd drawn a line. No more waiting in silence. No more swallowing the disrespect. As she sat, Malik, the security guard, caught her eye from across the lobby. His nod was different this time, stronger. Prouder. "You got this." Talia's lips twitched. A flicker of a smile. She wasn't alone, not entirely, but the clock kept ticking. 12:10 over 2 hours. Her back screamed, her heels ached, but Talia's face stayed smooth, her posture unbroken. She was a fortress now, unyielding. If they thought she'd crumble, they were wrong. Then movement. Paul Kendrick. He stepped out from behind a glass door, gray hair slicked back, white shirt crisp. He was laughing, carefree, with another manager, a clipboard tucked under his arm. His eyes swept the lobby over Talia, past her, through her, like she was air, like she was nothing. He turned, still chuckling, and disappeared behind another door. Talia's heart sank, a hollow ache swallowing her fire. Not anger now, something worse. A tiredness that clawed at her bones, that whispered, "You don't belong here." She thought about leaving, walking out, saving the scraps of her dignity. But leaving meant quitting, meant letting them erase her. And Talia Brooks didn't quit. She thought of her mentor at Howard. "Dr. Ellis," her voice fierce over coffee, "they'll try to shrink you. Talia, make you feel small, own your space." Talia's grip tightened on her portfolio. She wasn't small. She'd earned this. Every sleepless night, every ignored email, every time she'd bitten her tongue and kept going. She wasn't here to beg. She was here to claim. The receptionist glanced at her again, then away, her irritation plain. Talia caught it, and this time, she didn't look down. She stared back, steady, unflinching, a silent challenge. I am still here. Deal with it. But just as the weight of those 2 hours threatened to crush her, just as Talia felt the fire flicker, the front doors swung open. A sharp click of polished shoes. Not one pair. Several. The air shifted. Electric. Alive. And in that instant, everything changed. The front doors of Apex Dynamics burst open. A sharp click of polished shoes, 5 pairs. Deliberate, commanding cracked through the marble lobby. Talia Brooks looked up, her heart slamming against her ribs. The air turned electric, heavy with power. The receptionist froze, hands hovering over her keyboard. Whispers died. The lobby, alive with corporate hum just seconds ago, held its breath. Talia's eyes widened. She knew them. James Caldwell, his presence a quiet storm. Marissa Delgado, CFO, fierce and unshakable. Lila Chen, tech visionary. Her name synonymous with AI breakthroughs. 2 others flanked them, suits crisp, strides purposeful. These weren't just executives. They were the architects of Apex, the ones who wrote the rules. Talia sat rigid, her portfolio a lifeline on her lap, her heels still pinching. Still fierce grounded her to the chair. Stand, stay, speak. Her mind raced, but her body stayed still, face a mask of calm. 2 hours. 2 whole hours. She had been invisible, erased, her presence a nuisance. Was this her moment, or another cruel tease? Then Marissa's voice. Talia Brooks, it sliced through the silence. Clear, commanding, ringing off the glass walls. Her smile was warm, real, like a lifeline thrown across a churning sea. What are you doing out here? Every head snapped toward Talia. The receptionist's jaw tightened, her eyes darting away. A man by the elevators choked on his coffee, staring. And Paul Kendrick stumbled out from behind a glass door, clipboard slipping, his face draining of color. Time stopped. The lobby, a battlefield of neglect for 2 hours, was now a stage. And Talia was center spotlight. She stood, smoothing her skirt with slow, deliberate grace. Her heels clicked steady, defiant as she crossed the marble. Her portfolio slid under her arm, no longer a shield but a weapon. Eyes burned into her, curious, shocked, judging, but Talia didn't waver. Not now. Not after being a ghost for so long. James Caldwell stepped forward, hand extended, his voice rich with warmth. Talia, great to see you. That AI analytic pitch you gave last quarter blew us away, changed the game. Talia shook his hand, her grip iron, her smile poised. Gracious, thank you. Mr. Caldwell, it's an honor. Her voice was steady, but inside a fire roared. They see me. They see me. Lila Chen nodded, her eyes sharp, alive. You are predictive models. They are bold. They're what we need to stay ahead. Talia's chest swelled, but she kept her cool. I appreciate that. Ms. Chen, and then Paul Kendrick. He scrambled over, face flushed, sweat beading at his temples. The swagger from his earlier laugh, that careless arrogance, was gone. He looked small, shrinking by the second. Mr. Brooks, his voice was too loud, cracking at the edges. I'm so sorry for the wait. A mix-up, my fault. No excuse. Talia turned to him, her face a perfect mask of calm surprise. She tilted her head, letting the silence stretch. Heavy, suffocating. Then she spoke, her words a blade slow, sharp, cutting deep. 2 hours is a long time for a mix-up. Mr. Kendrick, a priority mix-up. The lobby gasped, a collective intake of breath. James's eyebrow arched, a flicker of amusement in his eyes. Marissa crossed her arms, her gaze locked on Paul, dissecting him. Lila leaned forward, her lips twitching, barely hiding a smirk. The receptionist shrank behind her desk, fingers frozen on her keyboard. Paul's mouth opened, closed, opened again. Words spilled out, tripping, desperate. It was calls, emergencies, ill, fix it. No one cared. The board's eyes were on Talia, her poise, her power. Every inch the leader shed, been all along, even when no one looked. Marissa touched Talia's elbow, her voice low, firm, a promise. Talia, come with us. We're heading to the boardroom. We need your brain on this. Talia's smile was soft. Sure, a spark of triumph in her eyes. I'd be honored. Paul lunged forward, his voice a pathetic squeak. I can carry your bag. Get coffee, whatever you need. Talia didn't glance back. She aligned herself with Marissa and James, her heels clicking in sync with their steps. The board moved like a tide, unstoppable, and Talia was part of it. Paul's embarrassment burned behind her, a heat she could feel without turning. For the first time that morning, she let herself smile small, private, victorious. The elevator doors slid open with a soft ding. Talia stepped inside. Standing tall beside the people who ran Apex Dynamics, James pressed the button for the top floor. Marissa glanced at her, a knowing glint in her eyes. You've been patient. Talia, too patient. Talia's smile deepened, a quiet fire in her voice. Sometimes you have to be, until you don't. The doors closed, sealing Paul Kendrick out. His facered, flustered, unraveling was the last thing Talia saw as the elevator climbed. But this wasn't the end. Not even close. The real fight, the real chance to rewrite the rules, was just beginning. The boardroom was a world apart. Glass walls, sleek steel, a mahogany table that stretched like a runway. The air was lighter, alive with possibility. No fake smiles, no empty promises. Talia's eyes caught a photo on the wall, a black woman in a power suit. Apex first female executive. Her gaze fierce, unyielding. Talia's heart thumped. I'm here for you, too. James gestured to a seat near the head of the table. Not the back, not the sidelines, the head. Talia, we're launching a new leadership initiative, he said, sliding a folder across the table. After your analytics pitch, we want you leading it, not just on it, running it. Talia opened the folder, her fingers steady, her pulse racing. Plans, timelines, budgets. This wasn't a meeting. This was a legacy, a chance to build something bigger than herself. Lila leaned in, her voice crackling with excitement. Your predictive models, they see gaps nobody else does. We need that vision. Talia nodded, taking it all in. She glanced at Marissa, who gave a small, proud nod. Years ago, at a women's leadership conference, Marissa had pulled Talia aside after a panel. You're going places. Talia, don't let anyone stop you. That moment, that trust, made this feel earned, not handed to her. She took a breath and spoke, her voice clear, bold. What if we used AI not just for retention, but to predict market shifts? It's a risk, but it could redefine us. The room stilled. James tilted his head, intrigued. Lila grinned wide. That's why you're here. Across the hall, through the glass, Talia glimpsed Paul Kendrick. He hovered near his office, pretending to read papers. But his eyes kept darting to the boardroom. Desperate to understand how the woman he had erased was now commanding the room with Apex elite. Talia met his gaze. Just for a second. No smile, no frown. Just a look steady, calm, unbreakable. Then she turned back to the table, to the real work, the real future. This wasn't just a moment. This was her time, and she was ready to claim it. The boardroom at Apex Dynamics was a world of glass and steel, a stage for power. The mahogany table gleamed under soft lights. The air crackled with possibility, no fake smiles, no empty promises. Talia Brooks sat near the head of the table, her portfolio open, her heels grounded. She wasn't invisible anymore. She was the center, the photo on the wall, a black woman. Apex first female executive. Her gaze fierce watched over the room. Talia felt her presence, a silent nod across time. This is for you, too. Her heart pounded, but her face was calm, her voice ready. 2 hours of waiting, of being erased, had led to this, and Talia was ready. James Caldwell, CEO, leaned forward, sliding a folder across the table. Talia, we're launching a leadership initiative, a big one. After your AI analytics pitch last quarter, we want you leading it, not just on it, running it. Talia opened the folder, her fingers steady, her pulse racing. Plans, timelines, budgets. This wasn't a project. This was a legacy, a chance to shape Apex's future, to build something that would echo beyond her. She scanned the pages, her mind already racing with ideas. Lila Chen, the tech visionary, spoke up, her voice sharp with excitement. Your predictive models, they see gaps nobody else does. That's the kind of vision we need. Talia nodded, absorbing every word. She glanced at Marissa Delgado, CFO, who gave a small, proud nod. Years ago, at a women's leadership conference, Marissa had seen something in Talia, pulling her aside after a panel. You're going places. Talia, don't let anyone stop you. That moment, that belief, made this feel like destiny, not chance. Talia took a breath, her voice clear, commanding. What if we pushed further as to AI, not just for client retention, but to predict market shifts? It's risky, big risk, but the payoff could redefine how we compete. The room stilled. James tilted his head, intrigued, his eyes narrowing with interest. Lila grinned, leaning forward. Bold, I like it. Tell us more. Talia didn't hesitate. She leaned in, her words sharp, precise. We'd integrate real-time data, global trends, consumer behavior, even geopolitical shifts. The algorithm would flag opportunities before our competitors even blink. It's not just about staying ahead. It's about setting the pace. The board listened, really listened. James scribbled a note. Marissa's lips curved. Impressed. Lila nodded, her excitement palpable. That's a game changer. Talia, you're talking about rewriting the industry. Talia's chest swelled, but she stayed composed, her voice steady. She asked questions, incisive, pointed. What's the budget ceiling? How fast can we scale? What's the risk tolerance? The board answered, not with platitudes, but with respect, engaging her ideas, building on them. This wasn't a courtesy. This was a seat at the table. Across the hall, through the glass walls, Talia caught a glimpse of Paul Kendrick. He hovered near his office, pretending to shuffle papers. But his eyes kept darting to the boardroom. His face was pale, his tie slightly askew. He was unraveling, piece by piece, trying to grasp how the woman he'd left waiting, the woman he'd dismissed as nothing, was now commanding the room with Apex elite. Talia met his gaze, just for a moment. No smile, no frown, just a look steady, calm, unbreakable. A look that said, you underestimated me, and you lost. Then she turned back to the table, to the real work, the real future. The discussion stretched, electric and alive. Talia's ideas sparked debates, bold but grounded. Lila pushed back on one point, data privacy risks, but Talia countered smoothly. Citing compliance frameworks she'd studied. James chuckled, impressed. You've done your homework. Always, Talia said, a spark in her voice. After an hour, James stood, extending his hand. Think it over, Talia, but it'll be blunt. I want you in this role. You're the future we need. Talia shook his hand, her grip firm, her smile confident. I appreciate the opportunity. Mr. Caldwell, oh, give it serious thought. Marissa walked her to the door, her voice low. A mentor's promise. If anyone makes you wait again, you call me. No middlemen, no excuses. Talia's smile was soft, knowing. Thank you, Marissa. I won't forget. The boardroom doors closed behind her, leaving Paul Kendrick alone in the hallway, his papers untouched, his world crumbling. But Talia didn't know yet, couldn't know that this moment was just the spark. The real fire was coming. The next week, An email landed in Talia's inbox. The leadership role wasn't just a project. It was a direct pipeline to a C-suite position, higher pay, real authority, a chance to shape Apex global strategy. She read the offer letter twice, her heart racing. Every late night, every ignored email, every silent dismissal she had swallowed in, it had led to this. But here was the twist. Talia hadn't just waited that morning. For months, she'd been documenting Paul Kendrick's behavior, every slight, every delay, every dismissive comment, quietly, methodically. She'd sent detailed reports to HR, emails timestamped at 2 a.m., notes on meetings where she was sidelined, records of promises broken. That 2-hour wait in the lobby, it wasn't just a mistake. It was the final straw. Talia had acted. She'd built her case, and HR listened. Whispers spread through Apex like wildfire, break room glances, elevator murmurs, Paul Kendrick's casual arrogance, his habit of dismissing talent, especially women of color, had caught up to him. Complaints had piled up, but Talia's documentation was the spark. By Friday, his office was empty, his nameplate gone, his career at Apex over. Talia didn't gloat, didn't celebrate. She moved forward, step by step, the way she always had. But the news sent a ripple through the company. People talked. They watched her now, not with annoyance, but with respect, with awe. She accepted the leadership role, not for validation, not for revenge, but because she'd earned it. Every sacrifice, every moment she'd refused to shrink, had built this path. And she wasn't walking it alone. In her first big meeting, the room was packed, directors, managers, new hires. Talia stood at the head of the table, her white blouse crisp, her slate skirt sharp. She clicked to her first slide, her voice clear, commanding. Good ideas don't care who's in the room. Neither should we. The room leaned in. They listened. Because this wasn't about one morning. It was about changing the game. Talia's vision wasn't just for Apex. She launched a mentorship program for young professionals of color, a promise carved from her own pain. No one waits in a lobby like I did. She called her mom that night, her voice thick with emotion. Twice as good. Mama. Her mother's laugh was pure pride. And then some. Baby girl. Talia Brooks stood at the head of the Apex Dynamics conference room, the city of Phoenix glittering through the glass walls behind her. Her white blouse was crisp, her slate skirt sharp, her presence undeniable. The room was packed, directors, managers, new hires, all eyes on her. She clicked to her first slide, her voice clear, commanding, like a beacon cutting through fog. Good ideas don't care who's in the room. Neither should we. The room leaned in. They listened, not out of obligation, not out of courtesy, because Talia earned it. Every word she spoke carried the weight of 2 hours in that lobby, 2 hours of being unseen, unheard, erased. But those hours didn't break her. They forged her. They lit a fire that was now burning bright, illuminating the path for everyone in that room. This wasn't just a meeting. This was a turning point for Apex, for Talia, for every person who'd ever been told to wait their turn. Weeks had passed since that morning in the lobby. The email offering Talia the leadership role, a C-suite track. Real power, a chance to shape Apex global strategy, still felt like a dream. But it wasn't a dream. It was real. Every late night, every ignored email, every moment Shed refused to shrink had built this moment. Shed accepted the role, not for applause, not for revenge, but because it was hers. Shed fought for it, claimed it. The twist, the one that changed everything, still sent ripples through Apex. Talia hadn't just waited that morning. For months, she'd been documenting Paul Kendrick's behavior. Every slight, every dismissal, every time he'd sidelined her. Or others like her, with a smirk or a shrug. She sent HR detailed reports, emails timestamped at 2 a.m., notes on broken promises, records of talent ignored. That 2-hour wait in the lobby, it was the final nail. Talia's evidence was the hammer. Paul Kendrick's fall was swift. By Friday, his office was empty, his nameplate gone, his reputation shattered. Whispers filled the break rooms, the elevators, the hallways. Paul messed with the wrong woman. Talia's documentation wasn't just a complaint, it was a reckoning. A signal that the old rules, the ones that let arrogance and bias fester, were done. Talia didn't gloat, didn't linger on the gossip. She moved forward, eyes on the future, but the impact of her actions echoed. Colleagues who'd once passed her by now nodded with respect. New hires whispered her name with awe. The company felt different, lighter, fairer, like a weight had been lifted. Her first act as leader was bold. She launched a mentorship program for young professionals of color. A vow etched in the pain of that lobby. No one waits like I did. No one, FBO. The program wasn't just a gesture. It was a pipeline training. Resources, access to the rooms where decisions were made. Talia handpicked the first cohort, seeing herself in their hungry eyes, their quiet fire. Should make sure they wouldn't need to be twice as good to get half as far. That night, Talia called her mom. The phone line crackled, bridging the miles between Phoenix and Atlanta. "Mama," she said, her voice thick. "I did it. Twice as good." Her mother's laugh was warm, proud, a sound that wrapped Talia like a hug. And then some. "Baby girl." And then some. Talia closed her eyes, the weight of those words settling deep. Her mom's porch in Atlanta flashed in her mind, those evenings of braided hair, hard truths, and unshakable love. That wisdom had carried her through the lobby, through the boardroom. To this moment, she wasn't just Talia Brooks anymore. She was a trailblazer, rewriting the rules for everyone coming behind her. But Talia's story wasn't about one woman's win. It was about a truth that burned brighter than any spotlight. Your worth doesn't depend on who sees you. It's in how you stand when no one's looking, how you fight when no one's cheering, how you rise when the world tries to keep you small. Maybe you've been there, waiting, overlooked, feeling like you're screaming into a void, like your work, your heart, your existence doesn't matter. But hear this, your moment's coming. It might not look like a boardroom, it might not come with a title, but it's yours. And when it arrives, walk into it. No apologies, no hesitation. I believe stories like Talia's matter. They're not just about one morning, one fight, one win. They're about changing the game, about refusing to let others define your worth, about building a world where no one has to wait 2 hours to be seen. Talia didn't just rise, she cleared the path for her mentees, for her colleagues, for you. So share this story, talk about it. Let it spark something bold, something real. Because one voice, one moment can rewrite the rules.